want all of you fucking marks out there to always keep it pinky.
What is up, all you fucking marks? Welcome to episode 9. I got the number right this week, Nick.
9.
Freebird rules.
9.
9. We've done 9 episodes already. My camera's completely off right now.
I see you.
Yeah. No, I know you see me, but it's not where I want it to be.
It's incorrect. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, it's gonna annoy me. Why don't you fellas talk for a minute? I'm gonna fix this real quick.
Sure.
We're fucking professionals here, okay?
We are, man.
I'm gonna grab something out the fridge real quick because it looks like there's some shit up in here. Give me a
Yeah,
second.
Nick, you just entertained.
I'm gonna
me,
talk
okay?
by myself. Yep, that's fine. So this is Freebird Rules. We are live every Sunday at 6 p.m. We're not really a wrestling podcast, you know. We talk about a lot about wrestling. Like today, we'll have like half wrestling. You know, they're gonna talk about Love Is Blind, which I don't watch. So I don't know what I'm gonna do for like an hour and a half because that's how much they spent last week talking about Love Is Blind. So I don't know if they're gonna do that whole hour and a half this week. But at least 45 minutes. I'm just gonna be sitting here, hopefully eating dinner and drinking this new V8 drink I found, which is out of this really cool cup that I have, which is made out of recycled stained glass that I found at a thrift shop. So that's what I'm doing today.
Well, that was fucking riveting, Nick.
Hey, look, you guys gave me 5 minutes and a live mic. I don't know what you want me to do.
Listen, yes, we talked about Love Is Blind for an hour and a half, but we also went over 12 episodes. We're only going over one tonight.
And that episode was just a recap of the other 12 episodes, right?
No, it was a reunion episode.
Oh, we talking about Love Is Blind?
Yeah, we're gonna bang that out real quick. Talk about the reunion a little bit.
Yeah.
Anything you want to say about that specifically there, Con?
Man,
So you already know the one thing that I'm going to talk about.
I think it's the same thing I want to talk about.
This motherfucker Trevor let us down.
Man.
Let's just say it.
That was crazy.
Trevor, you kind of hurt my feelings. I'm not even going to lie to you.
Man.
I feel like we were in a relationship, Trevor, and then you dumped me. That's how I feel.
What did you do?
So hold on. So Trevor, may I have?
Go for it.
So Trevor was on early into the show. And I mean, if you just to recap what the format is, it's a house full of guys, a house full of girls, and they meet each other, but they don't see each other. They just get to know each other, and they determine whether they want to be with you based off that, right? So Trevor, homeboy at the top in the center in the blue polo, he was like, he came in and I mean, when he showed up, we were rooting for Trevor because his whole thing was, hey, look, I'm not just the big meathead jock. You know what I mean? There's more to me. There's layers, right? And he kind of won me and Ham over because we were like, okay, this guy, he's legit. He means this shit. He seems like a good guy. He was talking to Chelsea, which is homegirl on the far right in the center row with I want to say that's like a nude dress.
A beige, if you will.
A beige
dress.
So Trevor's talking to Chelsea, but at the same time, Jimmy, who's on the far left, adjacent to Chelsea in the green suit. Trevor and Jimmy, although they're friends, are both talking to Chelsea at the same time. And again, we were just rooting for Trevor. And then the reunion show happens. Oh, by the way, let me back up because I'm jumping all over the place. Chelsea picks Jimmy over Trevor, right? So that just adds to it. Like, damn, man, this poor, nice fucking guy. That's what we're all saying in this whole thing, right? And then the reunion show happens. Mind you, I'm watching this with Sheila. I'm watching this with Nick's girlfriend, Kat. Shouts out to Kat.
So hold up, though. Before we get into that, Con. So, after the show ended, and ended up coming out that Trevor had a girlfriend when he went into the show, right?
Yeah, big detail.
But what they were saying was, what his excuse was, hey, I had only been dating this girl for a couple weeks.
That's right.
The opportunity to come up on the show came up. We discussed it. and decided that I would go on the show. Right. So that's what we thought it was. Continue.
That was a story.
Continue, Con.
So I'm watching this with Sheila. I'm watching this with Nick's girlfriend, Kat. Shouts out to Kat. I'm watching it with our friend Audrey. Trevor comes back. They're talking to Trevor. And they go, yo, Trevor, got some stuff we need you to explain. And they pull up. You know him, you take it from here because I don't want to butcher it.
So the whole reunion show, something that they were loving to do the entire time was pull up receipts. Nick Lachey and Vanessa Lachey, they were very into pulling up some receipts and calling people out and making them look stupid.
And they had a lot. They had a lot.
They pretty much brought out, hey, you know, it's been going around the internet. You had a girlfriend. She sent in some text messages. Let's take a look at them. And basically, it happened before they showed the before text before he went in, where he was basically saying, hey, you know, I hope you understand, you know, this is all just for show. I'm not, you know, when I get out, we're still going to be together. I love you, blah, blah, blah. After the show ends, he gets dumped. You know, we all feel bad for him. And immediately when he gets his phone, he starts texting her again saying, hey, I'm coming home. I still love you. We're going to get married. Yeah.
How did they get those?
She sent them in.
Yeah.
She went on TikTok and like basically was a whistleblower about it. And then she sent them in.
Yeah.
And he just sat there quiet, stumbling. He couldn't really think of what to say.
Bro, he didn't know what to say.
He didn't know what to say. There was nothing to say. And then he basically just said, hey, I can't, there's nothing really to say. You know, if Chelsea, if you want an explanation, you know, I will talk to you personally about it. You know, he said he did love her. He did fall in love with her, that him and this girlfriend were apparently very toxic together. And that's what this was about, was just, you know, they were toxic together in the beginning where they fell in love and it wasn't a bad relationship. And when he got out, he was emotionally wrecked by the fact that he got dumped. So he immediately jumped in with this girl again because they were toxic and that he needed therapy himself.
Wait,
and then he said,
didn't he just say he was dating that girl for only a couple of weeks? And now he's talking about he's in love with her?
Right, exactly. So he said when everything came out about the ex-girlfriend, he said this is what the situation was. Then she sent in the text messages, the receipts, and it was clear that was not what it was.
To Nick Lachey.
Yes, which they showed right on the TV. We got to read them all.
Hey, listen. When your life comes to a point where Nick Lachey's got you in a corner, you got to reevaluate some things.
Listen. So homeboy was so uncomfortable that he basically said, I don't want to be here anymore. Can I leave? And he just got up and left while the rest of the
ran out of there. He ran out of there.
Yeah, got up and walked out
immediately. Wow. Bro, it was nuts because we're all sitting there watching, our jaws just dropped because again, we were like rooting for this guy. And then to just see all that, like even his face, bro, he knew he had been caught. Like there was no room for him to lie. Even when he tried, it was like, bro, like, it was just falling apart right in front of the TV screen. So it was just kind of nuts to see that. And then for him to, because he was already like, yeah, I want to get out of here. And like the first opportunity they gave him to leave, he dipped the fuck out, bro. He was not
I had to take down my Justice for Trevor TikTok video.
Yo,
I had to take it down. He made me look stupid.
Because as a whole, we all rock with Trevor. You could see like the camera was getting like shots of the crowd, and like you could see all the dudes were just shaking their heads like, bro, you let us down.
Everybody was just disappointed in him.
Oh man, it was fucked up.
So disappointed. You know who else I was disappointed in, Con?
Who?
She really went out with this serial killer after the show.
Oh, AD.
Wild. Then they showed the receipts for that. They showed the videos for that. He was clearly saying the same thing to both of them.
Yeah.
And she still went out on a date with this guy after the show was over.
Still went, man.
Crazy.
I ain't gonna lie, man. Maybe she was hurt off the play shit. Maybe she just needed to feel something. People do that shit. I was surprised that she said that she went out with him afterwards. I was very surprised.
I did love that Johnny and Amy finally got called out about condoms.
I'm glad, right? Because they said that immediately. They were like, let's just get right to it. What the fuck is wrong with condoms?
What's with the condoms? Do you not know condoms exist?
Right to it.
I want to know what because they didn't give a straight answer. She basically said, I'm not on birth control. He doesn't have a vasectomy, but we figured it out. Okay.
That's all they said. Like,
What does that mean?
What the fuck does that mean?
What does that mean? There's only a couple things to do.
Right. But they're happy. Good for them.
Yep.
Love wins.
A lot of uncomfortable parts of this show, though. Jeremy and Laura and Sarah Ann, very uncomfortable.
That was nasty. That was nasty, bruh. That was so nasty.
And then, of course.
And then, hold on. And then to hear Jeremy say, because who blew up their spot? Somebody was like, y'all done, like, got together and broken up twice, right?
It was Chelsea.
Yeah,
Chelsea was like, every time I see Jeremy, he tells me that they're broken up.
Yeah, bro. So it's like, damn, bro. So you ended that shit with Laura, and now you with somebody you don't even. It sounds like you don't even really like.
And then Jessica called Jimmy out too.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
He had that. That was a long time coming, though. That was a long time coming. And then, like you said, that show had receipts. That shit where he said it was 10 minutes in and she walked out, and then it showed it was 2 hours.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's one thing about Jimmy that I noticed is when he gets caught in a lie, you could like see in his eyes his brain start to malfunction because like he just can't come up with something past that.
You know, there's part of me though that goes, you know, was he lying? And what I mean by that is if you're like in the middle of something extremely emotional like that, where like you don't have your phone or a clock or anything like that, it might fucking feel like 10 minutes. 2 hours might feel like 10 minutes and vice versa, you know?
I'm with you. That's true too. Totally with you on that.
Oh yeah. I don't know. Clay. I loved seeing Clay though, because he was like, yeah, I fucked up.
He took accountability. Like that's he really took, he was the only one that sounded like he like learned something after all that shit. So I had to reevaluate. It was like, do we not? Because at first I was like, we don't fuck with Clay, but then it was like, we fuck with Clay. I'm just mad at him right now.
Yeah, that's what I kept saying. Like, I don't think that Clay is a bad guy, and I do think that he wants to change. He doesn't want to be that guy. He doesn't want to be like his father. Yeah. But like most men who, you know, are raised on toxic masculinity and with poor, male role models, it's not that easy to just break out of that.
Nah. So, yeah, he was just, it looked like he was having a little bit of a mental warfare within himself, and he figured it out. You know what I mean?
I think KD would go for him again.
She said no, but the way she looked, I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, I think you might, though. I think you might. All in all, what a fucking season of trash TV.
Chef's kiss.
You pulled Con in. He didn't want to be in. I hate reality TV.
That's the best McDonald's I've ever had. The best McDonald's I ever had.
I got you.
Well, I ain't gonna say the best McDonald's I ever had. The best McDonald's I think I ever had was probably somewhere in the Jersey Shore region. But this is some pretty good McDonald's right here.
Okay. Nick, what do you think about the whole thing?
He don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I'm glad.
What does Kat think about the whole thing?
Kat, I can ask her if you want, but she doesn't want to be on.
Where's Sheila at?
All right, where's Sheila? What's Sheila think about? She'll actually jump on.
She ain't give a fuck about it either.
Hi.
She ain't give a shit.
Hi. So what'd you think about the reunion? You didn't watch any of the other episodes, though, did you?
No.
I don't know.
What I really liked about the reunion was actually how Vanessa and Nick held everybody accountable to what they did.
Oh, it's like they called everybody out.
They went through every single interaction that raised questions and brought a lot of like humanness to the show, because they kept repeating like, these are people's lives. You guys are sitting here and saying like, oh, it's entertainment, whatever, blah, blah, blah. It's just TV. But it's not just TV. Like, this is real life for these people. Mm-hmm. And I think because I hadn't watched any of the other ones, or any of the other episodes before the reunion, that interaction of like, hey, this is real for these people that are actually looking for love, that would have made me go back and actually watch the show, which I'm tempted. You know what I mean? Like, because of that specifically, I'm tempted to go back and actually watch the show.
Yeah, I think you should.
Yeah,
I think you should.
It's not. It's
I mean, you
very
know how it ends, but there's 7 seasons or 6 seasons, so
Hey, it was an
It was-
interesting
it was
watch.
interesting.
It was an interesting watch.
It was interesting.
there is a petition going around online to take Nick and Vanessa Lachey off as hosts. So
Boo.
apparently
Why?
this happens every season. I don't know. People don't really like them as the host for some
Also,
reason.
What was it? Who's Sarah Ann?
Sarah.
Fuck her.
Yeah, fuck Sarah. Exactly.
We don't fuck
Yeah,
with Sarah.
exactly.
We don't fuck with Sarah.
Yo,
She's trash.
No.
Con, so this, sorry, Hambone. This is this is like an editing thing. But when I was editing the clip of you talking about Sarah Ann,
Uh-huh.
literally, I made the caption. I don't know if
I
you read
saw.
the caption, but like that's what. So I played the whole thing as I got it done editing, and she's like right behind me, like walking around doing whatever. And she was like, "Talk your shit, Hambone. That's right." She was like, "Fuck her," and he was like, "Sarah Ann's such a pick me," and I'm like, "Oh shit."
Yeah,
I was
she
like,
is.
All right, bet.
She is.
I was like,
Yep.
I just thought that was so funny. I was like, I'm making that a caption. I was like, that'll just be between us.
I think the general consensus is fuck Sarah Ann.
Yeah, we don't fuck with Sarah Ann.
No. This podcast does not fuck with Sarah Ann,
That
and you
was
shouldn't
bullshit.
either.
That was bullshit.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Nick's bored.
You guys do what you want to do.
Nah, but shouts out to Hambone, bro. He spun me.
All right, now I get 16 minutes to talk about football. So,
Oh. Oh man.
Oh,
Well, guess we'll move on to headlines.
okay.
oh man. Oh yeah. Forgot about this.
We didn't really talk about this. It's been like 2 weeks.
We haven't done headlines in a while. So
No,
we got some things in there that we just haven't discussed.
I mean, I still don't understand this though.
I kind of do, but it's not for the reason everyone's saying it is. I genuinely think he got suspended for Mone reasons. Honestly, I really think this is more of a political play to make.
What's the point? Why not just fire him then?
Yeah.
Well, I don't think they want to fire him. I mean, I think something actually happened with Jeff Hardy, but I think a lot of things have led up to this, and then that with her coming into the company, I think kind of made this into like we're suspending you because have they even said how long he's going to be?
No. But see, I do wonder about that because, when that came out originally, Sammy got sent to, some kind of like sensitivity training. He apologized to her and she accepted it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe, but
I could be wrong. I really could be wrong. But
my whole thing about it is, they're saying, okay, concussion protocol wasn't followed and he shouldn't have hit his finisher. So the question is, if that's the actual case, who is responsible for the concussion protocol? Is it the wrestlers? Is it the refs? Did Sammy just pick him up and go, fuck this? I'm not listening to any signs or signals from the ref. I'm going to do it anyway. Okay, if that's the case, yeah, suspend the guy. But if you're saying, hey, you should have known, and the ref didn't even try to stop him, it's just like,
no, dude.
So here's where I'm at with it because there's a clip that no one really talks about the aftermath of that match. It's a clip. I thought it was kayfabe, but after that match with Jeff, there's like this weird interaction with Sammy and the Hardys, and like Matt and Jeff both flick Sammy off, like they both give him the finger, right? I thought it was just part of storyline purposes, but then I think something else happened. It might have been because I think it was around the time that the rumors that he hurt Jeff started to pop up. It was like that, and then that clip came out at the same time. And then this headline dropped. So when I see that headline, I'm thinking what Hambone just said, I'm thinking where it's like, yeah, Sammy kind of almost went into business for himself, because if he got suspended for injuring Jeff, and I'm making the connection between that video of them clearly upset with him, then I'm under the impression that Matt and or Jeff went and said something and was like, do something about this motherfucker. That's what I'm under, just based off of everything that I've seen with this. I don't think it has anything to do with Mercedes at all, because like Ham said, I remember when they sent Sammy to sensitivity training. I think they even suspended him as well.
Did. Yeah.
So it just feels so unprovoked. Like, oh, she's coming, so we got to suspend. That's like, if that's what they did, that's fucking bullshit. Because like, yeah, like keep them,
because she ain't moving that needle anyway.
Oh boy.
But yeah,
We'll get to that though.
we'll get to that. But yeah, like I'm under the impression that Sammy went into business for himself, and that small clip of him and the Hardys after the match confirms it for me.
Yeah, I mean, just at face. I mean, obviously, like taking the Mone like conspiracy thing out. It's more of a conspiracy theory than anything. But I feel like he's done a lot of shit that's got him suspended. And I know there's some things that like were out of his control that's got him suspended and things like that.
I mean, this
like,
is the third time he's been suspended by AEW.
Yeah, he seems to just always be around some bullshit.
Yeah, so I mean, like, you know, Punk got fired for doing that type of shit. I mean, you know, it's essentially. I mean, we're still not really sure what happened with Punk to really get him fired. But I mean, Punk was also in all sorts of. He was the center of attention for bad attention, essentially. And I feel like Sammy's kind of in the same boat now, and I'm not really sure what the deal is here. And I haven't seen enough to say that he's gone into business for himself with this. I mean,
yeah, that's how I feel about it too.
I can understand the reaction, like from Jeff and Matt to be like "fuck you" and shit like that, but like I don't know. I don't see enough from that move, and also like with the whole like concussion protocol thing, I don't think that's on Sammy or any athlete in the ring at all.
Right,
that's
right.
supposed to be on a ref or some type of person
or a
watching
doctor.
the match.
Yeah.
Like, hey, look, we just saw Jeff get smacked. Send someone out there and fucking check on him. That's what they're supposed to be doing anyway. I mean, that's their whole job. So
that's what they've done in every other situation where somebody has gotten a concussion. But
Yeah,
for
so
whatever
I'm
reason,
not talking
it
about the
happened
protocol because like the protocol's still not clear on me, so I'm not talking about that. I'm just seeing the Hardys do that.
Mhm.
There had to have been a previous conversation where there was obviously a miscommunication.
right.
That's it just makes sense to me. That's the most logical shit.
And again, that's not the first time Sammy's done that because
Again,
Sammy
yeah,
did that
that's
with Eddie.
not the first time that. Well, I don't know. I'll say that's not the first time that Sammy has created friction with other wrestlers.
That's exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm gathering based off that too, just history and shit. But you know,
Yeah.
all we can do is speculate. But if
Right.
anyone asks me, there was a conversation that they had previous, and Sammy said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna go in for myself." That's my theory. You know what I mean? If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm cool with that.
Which would be weird too because I think Matt and Jeff are leaving.
Yeah, well, that's what the other thing I was going to say is that Matt said that his contract is up this month, and it does not sound like they're re-signing to me. Jeff is probably going to be kept there because he was gone for so long. His contract was supposed to end at the same time as Matt's. They had worked something out, but
yeah, I heard a rumor that Matt's trying to get. I heard a rumor that Matt's trying to get him out of there, though.
Me too. I heard the same thing.
It could happen. Yeah.
I mean, I also heard that they're trying to come to WrestleMania. So
I was going to say, if that's the case, go retire. Because y'all are washed.
Yeah,
it's over.
Please,
I'm sorry.
Please. It's a wrap, bro.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
Con, what are you eating?
It was like a little like breakfast-ish bowl, like potatoes, egg, turkey bacon, like relatively healthy protein-based meal. Sheila made it for breakfast this morning. She had leftovers, and I was just really fucking hungry. So
Liv Smorgan, huh?
Liv Smorgan.
Con won't join in on us.
He won't do it, bro.
Nah.
One day.
He's done.
One day.
I did that on the old show. This is the new show. That's how I feel.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, we
So
can
we're
bring
living in the
over
past,
some
man.
things.
We're living in the past, Hambo.
I guess so.
Yeah, I don't know a little bit.
How do y'all feel about this? Because
Don't bother me. They don't bother me.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really bother me either.
They don't bother
Like
me.
I mean, you look at other sports that are inside of a ring, or even other wrestling companies do this, where they put the sponsors on the mat. I mean, it doesn't. I think the prime, like with the bright colors and shit, like this is a little distracting. I think if they just made it like a dark blue, the outline, then I'd be like, all right, that's fine. This is a little bit distracting how big it is.
It's an eyesore. If they made it like just like a little bit smaller or changed up the color where like it's just not stands out as much. But like other than that, like, and not even to sound dismissive, because I saw immediate backlash on this. I'm not even being dismissive when I say like I genuinely don't see why this would bother somebody. Like I'm not jumping for joy at it.
I mean, I'm going to tell you why, Con.
Yeah, like
here's what I'm thinking.
I feel like I'm missing something. To me, I see it. I'm like, again, like my only quote unquote issue, if you would even call it an issue, is that it's kind of an eyesore. Like I'm not looking at, even just in this photo, I ain't looking at shit else but that.
If I was to guess, I would say that most of the people who are complaining are just straight up WWE fans.
Yeah.
And by saying that, I mean they've never seen this in every other sport that does this inside of a ring, or they've never watched another wrestling company that does this. They've never seen like NJPW that have all the sponsors all over the ring. So this is just a new thing to a lot of people. And as we know, people don't really enjoy change. So
I agree with the colors. I think I would definitely prefer like monochromatic, just black and white, or just black with like transparent, and just like you can have the bottle. I don't care about the bottle thing, but the red into the blue, that whole thing is a lot for me. And this might just be what they did for today or that day, you know. So like I'm not even saying that that's what's going to happen, because like the way. I mean, UFC, like, their ring has colors. Like, they have the big monster logo with the green and everything. But, like, with AEW, they had the DraftKings, but it wasn't all green and orange. It was just black letters, which I think was a lot better, because it's there, but it's also not so vibrant. And so I think if they did more something like that, I think it'd be a little more like, okay, this looks really good. Like, it blends right in. Like, it should blend in, but also – you know it's there at the same time, because it is a marketing tool. So you need to be able to see it and read it and know what it is, but it doesn't need to be so in your face. I'm surprised they haven't done this more, because they've had so many Slim Jim Battle Royales and stuff like that. I'm surprised there wasn't just a big old Slim Jim logo in the middle of the ring before. So the fact that they're the first ones to do it, and also Logan's part of WWE. So like this is like it works both ways. Yeah. So it's like this makes the most sense for it to be his brand there. You know, like,
I think that's what I don't understand is like when you tell me that like wrestling fans are used to saying that, okay, like I didn't even think about that. Very true. Mm-hmm. The backlash I was seeing consistently was like more so like, why does he get that? And I'm just like, he fucking works there. Like he works there. What do you mean?
And for all we know, he fucking paid for it too. Like that's the whole point of like sponsorships. Like
I think he definitely paid for it. Yeah, I don't think he got this for free. Yeah, at all. Like at all, bro. I think it just he was the first one because he's on the roster.
Right, and I'm sure that because before this happened, the couple weeks before that, there were rumors that TKO had said that they were considering the possibility of putting the advertisers and sponsors logos on the ring. And I'm sure that this was them going, hey, we have a guy who works here who happens to have a product. Why not maybe give him a little discounted deal? We'll put it in the middle. We'll see how it works. We'll test it out with Prime, since Logan Paul works here. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, we won't do it. Yeah. But I could see that happening too, seeing as they're the only one so far. Maybe this is just, let's give it a test run because this guy works here.
Yeah. That's fine with me. Yeah, I genuinely didn't get the backlash at all. Like, I hear what you're saying, like why it happened, but I don't understand that mentality and that logic of thinking. So, but I like it.
Yeah, I don't got a problem with it.
Woo!
Well,
I'll be back. Keep talking. I'll be back.
Go ahead, Nick.
Hold on. Let me not make that perceived a certain way. I just want to get this off my desk. Y'all talk. I'll share my opinion.
Well, Con and I are of the same opinion. So, Nick, go ahead.
So, I mean, I always like Sasha. I mean, I can understand why there's the sentiment of like she's kind of like she's not as like great as like a bunch of other people, but she's a big star. And like I like Mercedes the person because I've seen her act in a bunch of things. She was actually she played a Mandalorian in Star Wars, which is really cool to me because that
nerd.
Yep, fucking nerd.
I watched it too, but you're the nerd.
Hey, listen. So, but like I think this is just cool. Like I don't have a grand opinion of this. I mean, we knew it was going to happen. I mean, I saw a lot of people like really like still like, oh, is Mercedes going to show up tonight? Like, which is wild because as soon as they announced the name of it, I knew what was happening. So the fact that you didn't catch on is a little on you. But this is cool. I mean, that's more star power. They've signed a lot of fucking people in the last like 3 months, like, and a lot of big like names, a lot of people that are bringing eyes to the company, not just good people. I mean, they are good people, but they're they're big stars too. So that's the good play for AEW. I think there.
So, I mean, I think I don't know if it's a. I'm personally not a Mercedes Moné fan. I don't see what everyone else sees when she shows up wrestling wise. Like but I'm able to understand that this is like a big deal. This is a big sign. You know what I mean? And I'm also giving grace in the sense of there's wrestlers there's wrestlers that I may not have been a fan of in WWE that I became fans of when they went somewhere else. I mean,
Thanks.
Nick's a perfect example. He wasn't a fan of FTR in WWE, and they got to AEW, and he's an FTR guy now.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that effect takes place on me with her. Hopefully, I enjoy this version of her in AEW. I don't want to shit on her. Like, I just think that's just lame just to shit on her. And the girl hasn't even cooked yet. So I'm interested to see where this goes. I'm interested to see what they have for her. I will say there was one thing I saw online, and I know Hambone, there's another conversation that you and I and Nick have already had about this that we're going to get into. But to defend her, not with that, but something that I just saw online was I saw a clip of her talking about. She basically, I don't even remember what it was, but it's somewhere in that conversation. She said something to the effect of, I know one day I'll be back in the WWE. She said that, right?
Yep.
Did y'all have a problem with that?
No. Like
I didn't, but at the same time, I don't work there and I'm not paying her.
Yeah, it didn't.
Right.
It didn't bug me because I too think that one day she's gonna be back. Like I just kind of expect her to be back. You know what I mean? And I just saw that blow up into she's openly saying that she's going back to WWE and she's only in AEW for the money. I saw that was a quote, and I'm like, slow down. She didn't say that. She said down the line she could see herself going back to her old job. That's all she said. And that's like I've seen that being blown up a lot. Relax, bro.
So I think the thing to be said about that is two things, actually. One, I mean, if that's the case, she could have went back this time because they were interested in her. So will she really go back? Because I think she proved with this that, AEW offered her more money. So that's where she went. And I think that's, literally what it came down to. And the fact that she can do outside projects, where in WWE she couldn't. But the other thing,
they'll definitely let her do that over there.
Yeah.
The
other thing though is something that I completely forgot in the past few seconds I was talking. So the other thing is she said that said that in an interview, but she said it before she debuted.
Yeah.
My immediate thought was when I read it was not, oh shit, she's just here to for a couple years and then she's gonna go back. My immediate thought was, yeah, I know that it's the worst kept secret outside of CM Punk debuting that she was coming back, but maybe she said it just kind of as a way to kind of throw people off maybe a little bit. Like, oh, is she actually coming? Or is she going to go back to WWE? Because everybody knew she had talks with WWE again.
That's true. Yeah.
So that's the other thing is, what was the intent of her saying that? Was the intent actually that she's like, yeah, I'm just going to be here for a couple of years and then I'm going back? Because that's a little fucked up as somebody, if I were her boss. Or was the intent, hey, I'm going to say this because I haven't actually shown up yet and I'll try to throw a couple people off?
So, I mean, you got to think, I mean, how old is she?
Probably only like 31, 32, somewhere in there.
30, maybe, if even.
Early 30s? I mean, something along that range. As I look that up, I'm going to But, I mean, Cody's opened the door to these people going back and forth between companies and just doing
32.
32. So, what,
Man.
Like, okay, so in fucking 15 years, she'll be fucking 47, right? Like, who knows if she's even going to be in AEW wrestling or doing anything? Who's to say that AEW's contract with her doesn't end and she just goes right back to WWE to be some sort of manager or something? Like, these wrestlers can do anything, especially with this, like, flip-flopping of, like, Andrade's a great example. Andrade was in WWE, went to AEW, and now he's back in WWE. Like, these wrestlers just are doing that now. And I'm fucking cool with it. The only people who aren't cool with it are these tribalist fans. But I don't find an issue because like she's got so much more time in her life. Who the fuck? She's gonna be AEW lifer all of a sudden?
Right.
Like, is that what we're expecting out of her? Is just because she signed this contract, she's immediately gonna be AEW lifer? Like, I don't understand that like mentality of like why people are.
Yeah, I agree. Don't
Yeah.
put that. I don't think, and I'm not saying we're doing this, but just the people that are putting expectations on her. Let the woman cook.
Yeah. I mean, as
whatever we expect from her could be totally different than what the fuck she expects from us.
Right.
Yeah. Again, as fans, I don't think that should matter to us. But again,
Right.
if I were a boss, I'd be like, oh, okay. Well, you don't sound like you really want to be here for a long haul or help this company, you know. I can understand that. But we as fans, we shouldn't give a shit. She's gonna go wherever she's gonna go, you know.
I think more so it's like I think this with all companies, not just wrestling companies, but like if you really want to make sure that someone cares about your company and your product and whatever it is, then you need to treat them as such. Like, so like, because if she comes in here and she's treated like shit for 2 years, why the fuck would she stay here any longer?
Sure.
Like,
but again,
that's my thing. And I'm not saying that's what AEW does, but like, we've heard that with all sorts of different people, like, or like it's just not a good fit or whatever it is. Like, if she comes in here and like a bunch of other wrestlers and does nothing while she's here, why the fuck would she not go back to WWE or anywhere else?
Sure.
She was doing so much good stuff in WWE, and then that shit happened, and then she left. So if she comes here, does nothing, would we just expect her to be here to be a company person just because she's here now? Like, no, like. She's doing nothing here. She's not being treated the way she's supposed to be treated. She should go where she's going to be valued.
Right.
So, I'm not with that.
So let me just give my opinion on her, and then we'll move on from her. I, like Khan, am also not a Mercedes fan. Never really have been. As far as I'm concerned, she's the worst of the 4 horsewomen. I'm not a fan of her. Just anything about her, really. You know. I don't think she's that great in the ring. Her characters, whatever. Her fans are really, really fucking annoying. Yeah. I think she does think she is a little bit better than she really is, for sure. But I've said this before, and I think Khan agrees with me when I say this too. I understand that wrestling is a variety show, and it's not just made for me. And I'm not going to like every wrestler on the roster, and that's okay. Because I don't like Mercedes, but I understand that a lot of people do. And I just go, hey, she's not for me. She's for somebody else, though. And that's okay. I think my biggest issue is, and, you know, when the rumors of her getting signed started, they were saying that she was signed to a $5 million per year for 5 years. $25 million, right? And I went, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous money, right? It's now been reported that is not the case, but that it whatever the deal is, it made her the highest paid woman in wrestling, and that, you know, most of the women are looking at that as a good thing because that means that they will now have more negotiating power when it comes to money. I get that. That's all well and good. My only thing is,
what is a normal salary for like a wrestler? Because I'm not really sure. Like I follow football, and these numbers are fucking insane.
I mean, it really depends. It seems like on the low side, if you're like a mid-carder, if you're like a low mid-carder that's on the main shows like Raw or SmackDown, you're probably making $250 to $300K, right? Okay. And then the bigger guys, I think like Seth Rollins, Becky, they make around $1 to $2 mil. Roman's making 3 to 4 somewhere in there a year, right? And then most of the women are making less than the lower mid-card guys, though. At least that's what it was reported, a couple years ago. Now I don't know. I know that Charlotte got a pretty good contract for the last time that she re-signed, that it was in the millions. Becky does now too. But most of the lower women, they're making less than probably that $300K.
I got you.
My only issue again is that I just think, and I said this about Okada too. So it's not just a Mercedes thing. I just think that's a lot of money to be paying for these people who aren't moving the needle. Because you can be a Mercedes fan, and that's all fine and dandy, but she's not doing anything for AEW, really. And I'm not, again, when I say moving the needle, I'm not talking about ratings, because we've had this conversation where I don't believe that ratings, I'm of the belief that ratings do not mean now what they meant 20, 30 years ago. They just don't. And even if you want to say that they do, there are other things that matter as well, such as the fact that AEW is #1 on cable every single Wednesday, the fact that they get higher ratings than anything else that's on TBS or TNT, et cetera, et cetera. Those things matter too. But to me, paying Mercedes the amount of money that she's making, and there ain't going to be any fucking extra asses in seats,
It's kind of crazy.
it just seems like a waste of money. And I felt that way about Okada too. So
yeah, I'm not
now
sure,
again,
what.
Not my problem, because it's not coming out of my pocket.
Right.
I ain't paying them, so it really doesn't matter. That's just the thing that I think of when I think about it.
I mean, I'm sure, like, I saw a video online that was like, my daughter was a big Sasha Banks fan and hasn't really seen her in a while, and so I kept this in the dark and then showed her debut on AEW. And so, like, I think there's stuff like that going on, like, for sure. But, like, do I think it's going to, like, put AEW on some big-ass trajectory? No. And I don't know of any signing that's really going to do that. I think the product's really just going to have to – the product and the opportunities, like, All In London and stuff like that, that's the stuff that's really going to put them into a different stratosphere. I mean, I think that's stuff like that is really, gonna do wonders for them. I don't think there's any really particular signing, unless they went and got the fucking Rock or something.
Right.
Which
the Rock or John Cena or something came over to AEW. Okay, that might do it, but
you have to get those two guys onto your platform to really, like, do something to that trajectory. Because as big as Will Ospreay and Okada and Mercedes Moné are, that's not bumping you to a different tax bracket.
Right.
Like, I don't think so.
And when we talked about this, that's what I said too. The issue is not the wrestlers or the talent that AEW has, because they have the talent. They got the wrestlers. They got to do something about the product. That's where we're lacking right now. For whatever reason, that's where we're lacking. I mean, there are a lot of reasons, but that's where we're lacking, and that's why they're not having that trajectory that they had at first.
Yep.
Yeah. So,
all right.
But I think they're in a good place. I mean, I don't think they're.
Yeah, I don't think they're. Yeah.
Do I think the company's going to shut down in 5 years? No. I think they're going to be here for a long time.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're going to be suffered. Like, they won't succumb to any sort of buyout. Like, I think Tony Khan, like, really cares about this shit. Like, he's not going to just let fucking Nick Khan come in here and take it, like, or anybody. Yeah. I don't like, so, like, that's what really, like, matters to me is, like, are we on a sinking ship? No, we're not. Like, not even close. Like, we're on a very, like, I don't even think AEW's at their prime yet. Like, truly.
I don't think so either.
Like, I think we might be like 15 years from their prime, and I'm okay with that. I'm all the way down for the journey.
Yep.
So, like, I'm very okay with that. If I'm fucking 47, 50, sitting there like, man, I remember AEW was fucking coming up. Like, that's where I want to be in my life. Like, so, whatever. But yeah, that's what I care about. Is the product fucking good, and is this company just not even worth looking at because it's going to be dead in a year? Like, and both of those they're fine. They're fine in both options.
Yeah. This is interesting.
This is nuts.
You can tell that Papa H is in charge now, man.
Oh,
because Vince was in charge. This shit ain't happening.
This shit
ain't happening.
That's exactly what I said.
It's funny because we thought Triple H was in charge like 2 years ago, and now he's like, we can tell for sure he's in charge now. Like, this
got his fingerprints all over it, bro.
Yeah,
bro. Like,
fucking bringing in TNA talent and lending his talent out to indie companies. Like,
this is on WrestleMania week, by the way. This is not like just some one-off thing. This is like that's brilliant.
Yeah,
like, fuck yeah. I don't know what Josh Barnett's Bloodsport is. I've never seen any of that before. I'm not a big GCW guy either. So, but like the fact that this is in GCW as she signed to the company, she's not former superstar. She's there.
Yeah.
And so it's like this is insane right here.
And so who better, right? Who better?
Bloodsport. The GCW does Bloodsport with Josh Barnett every year. Josh Barnett if you don't know, he is a wrestler, but he was also a very famous UFC fighter. He is a legit, he's a legit UFC MMA fighter. So the difference between this, because I did watch one Bloodsport event, was that they kind of play it like MMA. There's a wrestling ring, but they take down the posts, the ropes, the turnbuckles. It's just the ring. Two guys or two girls get in there, and it's more like MMA kind of focused, where they just fight.
Crazy.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. I personally did not enjoy it. Wouldn't buy another one.
Okay.
But yeah.
How much was it?
I don't even remember. I think it was only $15 a couple years ago.
Why didn't you like it?
That's not bad.
It just wasn't the wrestling that I enjoy watching. You know,
Gotcha.
it was very, very, very stripped down. Like there wasn't many pro wrestling elements to it at all. It was like a lot of guys just doing like takedowns and going for submissions. There weren't really a lot of wrestling moves at all either. Like
Not
it
a lot
was
of
very,
striking.
very stripped down.
Okay.
Yeah, I used to be like, especially like in like high school, college, I was really, really big into MMA. And I remember like I would go to a couple fights with friends, with family sometimes. And I remember like, you know, the matches that you want to see a knockout, you want to see like a dog fight, you want to see shit like that. You don't want to see like 15 minutes of hugging. You don't want to see the fight being on the ground the whole time. Like those matches are so fucking boring, bro.
Yeah.
Like I hate those fucking matches. You just want to see a slugfest. So yeah, I totally get that.
Yeah. That's cool.
Ha.
Listen. I just want to say, God works in mysterious ways. God works in mysterious ways, bro. Like that. Like this is like God looked the fuck out with this one right here.
You know, I said that for a split second, and then I said the minute that his foot is healed up, this motherfucker's going to try to get back on that.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh yeah.
He's already said, I guess Mount Everest has to wait until next year. Like, there's nothing in his head where like he's not doing it. It just ain't happening now.
Just not now.
Yeah. No, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Like just maybe time will just be like, you know what, I don't really want to do that, or someone will talk to him and put some sense into him or something. I don't know, bro. Because Mount Everest is fucking scary, bro. So I don't fucking like. It's different than like Mount Everest and jumping through a pane of glass from the top of a ladder is way different. It's two different things. Like it's two very different things, bro.
Oh yeah.
I'm
personally
happy you broke your foot, Darby. I'm happy you broke your foot. Don't go on Mount Everest. I'm so glad you broke your fucking foot.
Sit your ass the fuck down, B.
Yeah, dude.
Sit the fuck down. You just fell through a table. We saw that shit. They picked out God knows how many pieces and shards of glass out your back. Sit the fuck down for a second. The minute you went through a table and said, cool, now I want to climb up the one mountain that nobody comes back alive on.
You gotta
sit down for a minute, bro.
You gotta kind of understand his perspective though, because every time he fucking does something, he walks away with nothing. He went through a pane of glass and got 12 stitches. That's it. 12. That's like, I got 12 stitches back when I was a kid from falling and scraping my fucking head. Like, you know what I mean? Like every time he does something crazy, he walks away unscathed completely.
True.
I'm with Nick. That's true. I'm with Nick. I'm glad you broke your fucking foot. Stay your ass home. Sit the fuck down. Find you a nice, cool, mellow hobby. Buy some. Get some Legos, bro. Get into Legos.
Yeah, bro. Legos are cool.
Just some cool, docile shit.
And you can afford them because they're expensive as shit now.
You feel me, bro? Like, just sit down. Sit the fuck down.
Yeah. Like take up watercolors or, They collect anything? You got any Funko Pops sitting around? Like, what are you doing, Darby?
You can play video games with us if you want.
Yeah.
We'll let you
there's other stuff to do.
We'll let you on our squad.
Get in the weed. I don't think he does weed. I feel like weed's too weak for him.
Nah. I feel like all drugs are too weak for him.
That's true.
Like he doesn't even like any drugs. Like
he is straight edge though. I'm pretty sure he said that he's straight edge.
Yeah, because drugs are too weak.
That's why he keeps doing this crazy shit, because he's got nothing else to fucking give him that high, man.
There's no drug like adrenaline. Nothing beats it.
Yep. I personally have
pop call on that one.
Because that's so crazy. Those people are nuts, bro. Those people that say shit like that, bro.
Yeah,
It's
nah.
nothing like adrenaline, bruh. Nah,
Bro, he legit gets high on life. That's like that's not
He's a
like
real
a
life
cliche. He real life gets fucking high on life, bro.
he's an actual
He
daredevil.
gets
bro.
high on possible death. That's what he gets high on.
Listen,
Yeah.
listen. I'm
Possible
speaking
death.
into
That's
existence.
living.
I'm gonna speak it into existence. They're old as shit. They don't give a fuck. They just dropped a movie not too long ago. There will be another Jackass movie, and we will see him.
Oh,
And
for
we
sure.
will see him.
Oh,
I'm
for
speaking
sure.
into existence. There will be
Yeah.
one more Jackass movie. We will see him in it.
Is this bad? Like, so I mean, because this kind of goes with it, right? Anytime that, like, you know, I'm watching TV, I'm watching the news. Not that I watch the news. I shouldn't even say that, but you hear a story about somebody, like, you know, dying on climbing a mountain, or, you know, drowning because they swam out into the ocean, or, you know, their parachute didn't open when they were skydiving or something. In my head, I go, you know what? You just didn't need to do that. Like I know 100% that in those situations, I am never going to die from one of those situations. You know why? Never going to put myself in them.
Fucking do it. I won't fucking do it.
No point. I don't need to do it. I have this tendency of not doing things that could possibly kill me. It's like
You don't think he has a handler?
A handler? Probably.
Yeah, I think he has a handler.
Well, who's taking that job?
You know what I mean?
Somebody fucking crazier than him, and that's scary.
Nah, bro.
I want to know, like, who's the voice of reason in his life if that person exists. You know what I mean? Like, who would be that voice of reason to him? Who's the person that's gonna pull him to the side and be like, he goes up to him and he's like, all right, so I want to climb Mount Everest. And they just go, okay, couple things. Who's that guy?
Well, here, you know who it is, Con? I mean, you know this person. It's his insurance company.
I was just about to say, bro. Yeah. His insurance company, bro.
Ooh, girl, you looked it up.
AEW insurance
Oh,
company.
God. Oh, man. He got real happy about his food right there.
Little
Yeah, what's
flounder
the
and
best?
white rice.
Oh, he's getting more food now.
Oh, stop lying, bro. I'm about to have tilapia with white rice right now.
It's flounder with pearl onions and tomato.
Okay.
I'm about to have tilapia with white rice here in a minute.
Oh boy.
Fuck yeah.
Mm.
I
Man,
ain't gonna lie, I'm low key blown away.
Mm.
she hooked it up, bro. She came in with the foil on the plate.
Not the
Oh,
foil.
oh, you had to open it and everything, like in the
See it?
shows.
See it?
Wow.
Christmas.
You hear me? Yeah.
Wow.
That's crazy.
All right, so let's take a dramatic turn here. So, Nick, you suggested that we talk about this because of a conversation that we had in the group chat. So why don't you talk about it a little bit and why you think we should talk about it, how it came up, all that good stuff.
Yes. As soon as I remind myself what it was, then I will.
About my Facebook post about parents?
Yes. Let me find your Facebook post so I can read it, because I know I put it in our chat, right? Oh, that's Handbone chat. This is our chat. Where the fuck is it? Oh, wait. Where the fuck is it? Okay, it was something about what had happened with you and your parents. That's what I'm trying to.
So I'll say it. So my mom, I'm not I'm a pretty open person. I'm not very private or anything, so I don't care about talking about any of this.
Jesus.
But about 8 years ago, my mom had a stroke, and it didn't like paralyze her or anything like that, like the stuff you hear about when you hear about strokes, but it messed up her brain. She has like no short-term memory. You tell her something 5 minutes later, she has no idea you told her it. She gets confused very easily. She can't drive anymore. She can't go anywhere by herself anymore. My mom is only 59 years old, and when I go and see her, she looks about 80 now. It's basically ruined her life. Even though she's not paralyzed or anything, it's ruined her life.
Mm-hmm.
And she's very depressed and all that stuff. But my parents, I grew up poor. And my parents had alcohol and drug issues, and they never recovered from those. My dad is gone now, and I would probably say, my mom hasn't had a real job in the past 20 years. She is scraped by one way or the other, right? So she has no savings, no money, no retirement, no nothing, right? And it's come to the point now where my mom has her brain has gotten so bad that I have had to start taking over a lot of things. So I've had to deal with just all kinds of shit, from her bills to, my dad dying, to the house. We were poor. We grew up in the ghetto. House is falling apart. She has no money to pay for it. There are people that live with her that aren't exactly, the greatest people in the world as far as I'm concerned. There's just a lot. And I've been dealing with it for, a year and a half, 2 years now. And I am just getting to the point where I'm sick of it. It is very, very frustrating. And what I put on Facebook, basically, because I was frustrated at the time when I wrote it, but I also think that it's something that a lot of people need to think about, because I feel like a lot of people don't think about it, not just people our age, but our parents themselves. Basically, what I said was, to my friends and everyone else my age who still have parents who are still able to take care of themselves mentally and physically, I beg you, for your sake, please have a conversation with your parents right now about what their plans are for when they are unable to take care of themselves and when they die. I can tell you from everything that I'm going through that this is the most ridiculously frustrating process I've ever had to deal with in my life. You're not going to know what you're supposed to do. You are going to have to learn it as you go. And every single thing you're told from companies and government agencies that do this kind of thing are going to be different from person to person. You're never going to get a straight, definitive answer, and you'll spend all your time and your money bouncing from person to person, company to company, all to end up at the same place at the end of the day with no answers. I shouldn't be dealing with this at my age and with as young as my mother is, but here I am. Don't take on this burden. Make your parents think about their old age and their mortality and make their own decisions and start those legal processes themselves so you don't have to. As a matter of fact, if you have kids, figure this shit out for yourself now. Yes, in your mid-30s or early 40s, figure it out. Don't be selfish and pass this burden down to your children because a good parent wouldn't. And that is basically where I am at with it right now. Because I feel like a lot of people obviously don't want to think about dying, and a lot of people don't prepare for that. And a lot of people look at their kids as, oh, well, they're just going to take care of me. They're just going to figure this out for me. And it's not fun. I can tell you that it's not fun. And I don't have children. My wife and I don't plan to ever have children. But if I were a parent going through what I'm going through right now, I can tell you that I would never do this to my kids, because it is an awful thing to just force your kids to have to figure it out for you, especially like in the state. When you get to a point where you're in a state that your kids have to think about it, they probably have no idea where to start, because it's the same with me. I have no idea where to start. I don't get all the information, because my mom's mind is just gone. She has no idea where forms and papers and things like that I need to figure it out are. So you're going to get to a point where you're there, and then your kids have no idea how to even fix it. So it's really something that you need to think about for yourself. And if your parents aren't thinking about it, you really need to make them think about it, to not pass this burden down to you. So that's where that came from. And Nick, you felt that this was something that we could all maybe talk about a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I think we're all kind of in the same age range, and I don't know how. Can I ask how old your mother is?
She's 59, and I am 36.
Okay, so yeah, so it's kind of the same age range with like me and my parents. My parents are 58, I think, and I'm about to turn 31. So they're probably about to turn 58. So they're probably 57 right now. So it's kind of like I can't relate to the mental issues. I can relate to it. My grandmother has the same thing. Her short-term memory is shot, but she remembers like I just went to go see her about 2 weeks ago, and like she probably doesn't remember that I saw her 2 weeks ago, but she knows who I am and everything like that. So I can understand there, but my parents are not in that state at all. I come from a divorced household. Both my parents divorced and remarried when I was 10. So I consider to have like 4 parents essentially. And I've definitely not had any of these type of conversations with any of them. And your post and this conversation has made me think about that a little bit. I also have the grace of having 4 other siblings. So I kind of have like, right. So like I have that to like kind of bounce ideas, and if there's 5 people figuring out things instead of 1, which is incredibly unfortunate, so, but I'm just like, I'm intrigued like how you're navigating it a little bit, just only because like it's just like I don't know. I definitely don't know how to like bring something like that up. I also like your post made me think of more about like along like the ways of like how assets and like wills and things would work in that capacity. And like as far as I know, my parents don't really have a whole lot of assets. Like our parents are not our grandparents. Our grandparents had tons of fucking stocks and bonds and properties and craziness going on, and our parents couldn't really afford any of that stuff. And then there's us who really can't afford anything. So it's kind of like I don't know what, like I think the topic is more so like how to take care of them, right? In there. So that's kind of where like, that's like, I don't know how to really word it. I mean, more so just like, I think people should be thinking about this essentially. And I think, that's kind of what I would really like to get out of that, is just to kind of express that more so of anything, and, really start like thinking about it and getting on top of it. Because especially when you're our age and your parents are getting to the 60s and everything like that, like, that's kind of a big deal. Especially, you don't know when stuff like that will pop, like mental issues and any other issues. Right. You don't know when they'll pop up. They can pop up at any time, so.
And I think that's really part of it too, is that you don't think about this until you're forced into it. And that's really the problem. The problem is that we should be thinking about it. The problem is that it's a hard conversation to have with your parents, but it's a conversation that you should have when you're able to have it. Because so many of us don't even know, like you said, Nick, we don't even know if they have wills. We don't, and if they do, okay, what does it say in it? What do you want done? We don't even know what our parents want done. Some of us, do you want to be buried? Do you want to be, cremated? If you're getting buried, where's that money coming from? Funerals, not cheap. It's one of those things where, now, like knowing what I know now, I really wish that at some point, 10 years ago or so, I would have just sat them down and said, look, I know this is a hard conversation, but we need to figure this out because you guys don't have money and I ain't rich either. So what are we doing here?
And I think with the fucking, not to get like all that, but like with the way things are going in the country, like money's not just going to come out of anywhere,
Sure.
Like it's just getting worse and worse and worse. So it's like, even the next generation of like kids who are like 18 now really got to have this conversation like today, because who fucking knows where all that money's coming from, dude?
Right.
And like, I can probably tell you right now, knowing all my parents, that they don't have any sort of will, they don't have anything like that. And I'm sure my grandparents are still alive, and I think they're probably dealing with some of that now, because my other grandmother also has like extreme Alzheimer's. She doesn't know anything, like she doesn't remember anything, and like it's really nuts to see. But like I know like my mom is dealing with that, and so it's like a great question is like, where is all this money coming from? Like that's the biggest question, is just like, how is this stuff gonna get done? Because if you don't have money and I don't have money, and like we're like nothing, like none of my siblings are like in a good place. Like probably the best well off of any of us is my sister, and she just isn't much more than anybody else. And so it's like, where is it coming from?
Right.
How is this getting done? And I think that's really the conversation, and and hopefully your parents care about it, because I can definitely see a scenario where your parents just don't give a shit.
Well, I mean that's the scenario that I am in. I mean, like I said, my dad is gone. When it comes to that, one of the other things that I don't think people talk about either when it comes to this is the resentment and the guilt.
Yeah.
When we got to this point, you know, my dad is gone, my mom is where she is, and you know, I mean, I've known for a long time my parents were never going to have money. They were never going to do anything with their lives. It is what it is.
Mhm.
But when you get to this point where you get put in this position, then you start to get resentful of your parents. Because I
Right.
think all the time, why the fuck didn't you figure this out? You know, why are you leaving this to me? Why did you just expect that you were somehow going to get taken care of? Like,
Yeah.
you know, I'm not rich. Like, I didn't go to college. I ain't got some, you know, amazing paying job or anything. But the assumption that, hey, my kids are just going to figure this out and take care of me. Like, I hate that shit. You know, as somebody who's child free by choice, that's something that I hate about like a lot of breeders. You know, you have this thing where, you know, one of the things that as a child free person, people say to me all the time is, well, who's going to take care of you when you're old? Well, I'm going to, because that's my responsibility.
Right. Yeah.
The fact that you are having children just because you want somebody to take care of you when you're old, that's pretty fucking selfish,
right.
to be honest with you. But then there's a lot of guilt too, you know. I tend to be a pretty logical person when it comes to this, and I go, you know, you can't take care of her. You know, you don't have the money. You know, you don't have the room. She didn't prepare for this. It is what it is, right? And I know that.
Yeah.
The other half of me feels guilty because I can't.
Yeah.
You know,
No, for sure.
and I know that I shouldn't, but you know, sometimes your logical brain, even though you know something, it doesn't matter. You're going to feel how you feel.
And
Well, you love your parents.
Sometimes that mental conflict, like conflict is like you just said, like, I know damn well I am not capable of doing this.
That's
But
real quick. It's funny here. You know, look, I'm getting a phone call right now from my mom. This is probably the fifth time that she's called me today, and it's going to be for the same questions that she's asked me all day because she's already forgotten.
Yeah.
I'm not going to answer it. I'll just call her after, but it's I answer this phone 5-6 times a day. I get the same question from her. It just doesn't stick anymore.
Yeah, but that so there's that mental conflict of, like you said, where it's like I know I'm not capable of being able to do this, but in some cases, you know, like with me, thankfully, knock on wood, I'm not in this situation. But you know, way to bring this up, because that's like, you're right, like that's a tough conversation. I'm 80% sure my father has a will, right? I don't really be talking about my family like that, but like I'm 80% sure he does have one. I think there might have been a brief conversation amongst me and my sister, or maybe me and my mom, where it was just like a will is present, was kind of like the brief conversation, if I'm not mistaken. Like I never really dove into it. My father is at least with me, he doesn't really open up like that. So that conversation, I don't know if I'd be able to have it with my dad, but my mom for sure. You know what I mean? Like my mom for sure would be the person I could talk to and have her plug in her ear if they haven't had that conversation yet. Because if I know my parents, like I think I know my parents, this has probably been a frequent conversation, especially like, you know, my dad has had a lot of health problems. He just had brain aneurysm surgery not too long ago. So like there's just, again, knowing what I know about my parent, there's no way that this conversation hasn't come up. But it's a conversation that, you're right, like should be had amongst the children. I have a couple of siblings. 2 of them are half siblings. So in my father's case, it would be like, okay, well, us 4 would be able to like kind of rally together and figure it out if it came down to that. But with my mom, you know, I'm her firstborn, and then my younger sisters are, you know, second and final child. So amongst us 2, it would be like, you know, less brains involved in that. In terms of just siblings. But yeah, when you say like there's like, goddamn, I don't know what it feels like. So all I can do is empathize with you, Ham, on, like you said, the resentment and the guilt that you must be feeling right now. Because, like you said, as just to be just kind of just have that responsibility, just kind of just handed to you, and it almost feels like you kind of don't have a say in it. It's just like, okay. Right. Like you're forced to kind of think on your toes and just figure it out, and you're kind of like moving around in the dark about that shit. So I can only imagine what you're going through right now.
Yeah. And just to prep, like, go off that too. I don't want anybody to think that we're bringing this up or that I said this on Facebook because I was looking for pity, because that's not what it is.
We know you're
I'm
not
saying
that guy.
it because I'm in a position where I'm going, I never thought about this before.
Yeah.
And I can only imagine that most people in my life have also not thought about it.
Mhm.
And I don't want people in my life to go through what I'm going through right now, because this sucks.
It's a lot.
And nobody thinks about it until they're forced to. And maybe if I say somebody will be forced to go, oh shit, maybe I should think about that. Because there's so, I mean, we obviously we can't spend a shit ton of time talking about this, because I could go on about this forever. But there's just so much that nobody thinks about when it comes to this stuff. Like one of the things that I'm battling right now, my mom has gotten to the point where she has accepted. For a long time, she fought me about, no, I can do this myself. I don't need help, blah, 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 right? Got to the point where I said, you can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
You're not taking your medications right. I know that because I talked to your doctor. You're not paying your bills. I know that because the state's about to take your house. You're not doing the things you need to do. You don't have this, right? So now, you know, that was probably like 2 years ago or so that we had that conversation. We're getting to a point where she's finally starting to accept that she really can't do this stuff and somebody else has to do it for her. But thing about that is, people who end up going through this, say you're not even having the same issue, but say your parents end up having Alzheimer's or things like that. Even if they can sit there and tell you, yes, I understand that I can't do this anymore and that I need help, they're still going to fight you on the fact that, hey, I still want to stay in my house. My mom has Medicaid and Medicare. She could go into paid for assisted living right now. And assisted living is not what people really think it is. You know, I know when somebody says assisted living, a lot of people think, oh, I'm going to go, lay in a hospital bed all day with a bunch of really old people and get beaten by nurses. Well, that's not what it is. They're literally like apartment buildings. You get your own apartment with other people who are either your age or in the same boat, so you have people to be around, because that's one of my mom's things now, is that she's lonely because my dad's gone, so she kind of just lives by herself, other than these people who live with her who have like opposite schedules of her. You have nursing care, all the time, obviously, to make sure that everything's good, and that's what I want her to do, but she's fighting me on it, and I get it. Like, nobody wants to be forced out of their house, but you didn't plan for this. So you don't have a lot of options, so it's getting to a point where I am either going to take what's called guardianship of her in the home. Either I or the state is going to do it. I'm still debating whether I want to do it or not, because I've read a lot of stuff about people who end up taking on this responsibility, and it does not sound fun or easy. And it sounds like the courts, the state, still have to be involved a lot. And my thought process is, well, if that's the case, and if I don't have the power to do it, then if they still have to make the decision, then let them fucking make all the decisions. I don't need to do this to stress myself out. But it's getting to a point where either I or the state am going to take guardianship, so that we have all the information all the time. So, and what guardianship means, there's a lot of different things. Again, people don't think about these things. People have a will, that's going to tell their kids or anybody, this is what I want done while I die, but then you got to consider that you might have to issue somebody to be your healthcare proxy, which means they're going to make the decisions for you when it comes to your health stuff, or they could be your POA, your power of attorney. That means that they're going to make money decisions for you. Or you get up to guardianship, which means I am in charge of this person, period, of everything. And it's getting to the point where either I or the state am going to do that. And when that happens, she's going to be forced into a home. And that's another thing that's giving me caution about taking this on. Because, again, I grew up in a messed up home. A lot of stuff happened as a kid with two alcoholic and drug addicted parents that I wish hadn't happened. And my dad and I never had a good relationship. My mom and I, we are very up and down. My mom very much was the better parent. She loves me. I am the best thing that's ever happened to her. That's not to say that she was just the greatest mother in the world, because that's not the case for all the reasons that I've already kind of talked about. But for me, I go in my head, well, if I take guardianship and I force her, even though that's the right thing to do, well, now she's going to hate me.
Yeah.
And even though we're not like, like this, like I'm not at my mom's house every single day or something. And even though in my head I can go, well, we don't have the greatest relationship. She wasn't a great mother. I don't really want my mother to hate me either.
Yeah.
So even though I know it's the right thing, do I want to do that? Or would I rather just tell the state, hey, you do it? And then I don't have to be the bad guy. Because I know that if you go in there and see what's happening, you're going to do the same thing. So there's just so much of this shit that nobody thinks about. So much of this that even if somebody has thought about it, you still don't know all the shit that you're supposed to think about. It's ridiculous. It is the most ridiculous thing I have ever been through in my life, and just people need to think about it more.
Yep, that's definitely what the main reason why I wanted to kind of bring it up was just like, if you're listening to this right now, and you got parents or you got kids, either one, think about this stuff and figure out a plan. Because it's you don't want to be where you're at. Like it's just not. So
you don't want to be where I'm at or making your children feel the way that I feel.
Right.
Put it that way.
Exactly.
Yeah, because there's trauma that comes with that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's trauma that comes with that.
Yep. It's affecting. It affects me every day. I think I told my wife the other day about how, because there, I work a 40-hour a week job like most people do. We do this podcast. I do the volunteer stuff for ad-free shows on top of having to figure out the stuff with my mom. There's just all this stuff, and I told my wife, I was like, I feel like I come home and we sit down for a couple hours and watch TV together. In my head, I'm going, you're fucking lazy. You need to get up and figure out all the stuff that you haven't figured out yet. You know what I mean? Like it messes with me mentally because I'm at a point where I've never been this stressed out in my life. And yet I still don't feel like I'm doing enough to figure out everything I'm supposed to be figuring out and working on everything I feel like I'm supposed to work out. So it's just, it'll mess with you mentally. I'm telling you. So
I appreciate y'all for, actually come to the agreement that like this shit needs to be brought up because this is a heavy combo. Like, like you don't feel good after having this talk because it's just like, that's the reality of it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, and even if it's not setting in for people like me and Nick at this moment, it's coming. My dad turned 60 next month. You know what I mean? He turned 60 next month. So, and another reason why I kind of feel, I guess like it's something that I'm not looking forward to, right? But I find a little bit of comfort in it because my dad, one thing I can say about my dad is like he's really big on making sure that like he's the type of guy who's full on aware that he's getting up there in age. So he goes, routinely to get his checkups from his doctor. You know what I mean? He does, check, get his prostate checked and shit like that. Like he texted me the other day. He sent me this funny ass like little jokey text where it was like, yo,
what? I don't want to cut you off, Con, but you make a good point there that it's something else that I think people should say. If you're a man, go to the fucking doctor.
Yeah.
Stop that shit. So many men don't. And not only that, an even larger section of like African American men don't. Go to the fucking doctor.
Yeah. Now Sheila's been on my ass about that right now. Where it's, she's like, yeah, you need to go to a doctor. And not that like, there's anything going on, but like for all the reasons
that you know of. I went to the doctor for the first time. Like I got myself a doctor like 6-7 years ago when we first moved back here. And guess what? I had issues, Con, that I didn't know about.
Well,
now they're under control. You know what I mean?
Well, I got to check up like last year because I had like a bit of a health scare last year. And, I got everything checked and I came back with a clean bill of health, you know what I mean? Which is great. But, this year, she's like, hey, go to a doctor because, she was dealing with a couple of health things herself at the time. She's like, you need to go to a doctor because everything you said, you could be fine, but there might be something that we don't know about. So I was like, all right, look, I need to go. And I asked her to help me find a doctor. So we're in that process right now. But, back to, my dad, he sent me this photo. It was like a joke, but he's so big on this. He's always been on me about this. But he was like, it was a photo where it was like, you can do whatever you want in your 20s, 30s, maybe even 40s. But once you reach your 50s and that check engine light comes on, and it was just like, that's the kind of comfort I find in knowing that like he's so big on that. You know what I mean? Right. Where he just like make sure that everything's up to date health wise. Because when you get older, like I said, he just had brain aneurysm surgery. But, he'll be like, this is why you need to make sure that your health is, up to date, make sure that your health is, fine tuned, because you don't want to be in the doctor like I'm in the doctor. So stuff like that, like it feels good knowing that he's on top of that in the way that he needs to be on top of
that. Yeah. I do want to say that I appreciate you guys for sharing, different things. I appreciate you guys agreeing to say, speaking on that stuff. And I'm glad as a podcast that we're able to do that. And as friends, I mean, I'm glad we're able to, speak on that stuff as well. Yeah. And that we all feel comfortable in, divulging very personal stories and information to our fans and audience. So, yeah. But
usually, we're just here to try to be entertaining and laugh and stuff like that. But, Nick is probably right. He saw that post, and this is probably something that, does need to be talked about. Because like I said, nobody thinks about it. So, maybe every now and then you get a little bit of a downer of a segment like this, but hey, maybe you'll learn something from it or think about it a little bit more.
It's a downer, but like it's necessary.
Right, right. All right, well, let's move on to something funner. Nick, what are you eating?
I'm eating.
It was fish and rice.
I did tilapia and white rice with some broccoli.
Okay.
Yes, sir. It's very good.
Steamed broccoli? Not that I'm a broccoli fan, but what kind of broccoli?
Kat, I'm not really sure what she does with this broccoli, but it's the best broccoli I've ever had.
All
my
right,
parents did not know how to make broccoli, but she seasoned the fuck out of it.
Hey, if you like it, I love it, bro. If you like it, I love it.
I love it.
Let's talk about this real quick. What vegetables don't we like here, brothers? Let's go.
All of them.
All of them?
You don't like any of them, bro. I remember that.
Whoa, hold on. I ain't gonna bullshit. There's like there's a couple where I'm like, all right, ain't bad. I'll tell you the ones that I will never fuck with. Corn and peas. Let's just get
I love corn.
Fuck that shit, man.
I love corn.
Well, like here's the thing too. Is corn even a vegetable? And the reason that I say that is because it literally has no nutritional value. So isn't that the whole fucking point of vegetables and food in general?
Yes.
Why do we even eat this shit?
Right. I don't know.
Like I don't have a problem with it. I'll eat corn. I like corn, but what's the point?
I think it's weird. It makes me uncomfortable that like when you eat corn, you're gonna see it again, if you know what I mean. I mean, shit, bro.
Here's the thing.
That's weird.
If you don't look in the toilet, you don't see it.
Oh, I admire my
I don't usually look at my poop after I'm done.
Fuck out of here.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. I did hear. Speaking of poop, and then we'll get back to vegetables.
Let's talk about poop while I eat.
I did hear the best way to describe taking a poop today. I'd never heard it before. Somebody said that they were growing a tail. I said, that's great. I love that. I'm going to go grow a tail real quick.
The people in my family, I don't want to say their names because if they ever see this, they'll be very upset that I said it. But someone very close in my family would tell me that they're about to drop their kids off in the pool. That's what they were saying.
Yep, heard that one. Yeah.
There's I heard one before. It was I'm sitting on a cigar right now.
Never heard that one. Okay.
I've never heard that one. I'm sitting on a cigar.
Okay.
I don't know. Ever since I've heard that, I'm just like, that's a wild way to put it.
Do you get it? Because I don't get
it. Man. Yeah, I get it. Like a cigar, poop. Yeah. It looks like a turd. You're sitting on one.
Okay. All right. That's okay.
What a 180 this podcast just took.
That's the buffer.
Yep.
That's the buffer subject.
All right, so I don't like cauliflower. But other than that, I'll eat all the vegetables. Nick,
I had Brussels sprouts for the first time.
Oh, I love Brussels sprouts.
Now, see, I was out at dinner with Sheila, her sister, and her mom. I think it was for Sheila's birthday, and her sister ordered Brussels sprouts. I never had them before. Now I don't like cabbage, and it's really like the smell and the texture is just really throws me off. So I'm looking at the Brussels sprouts and equating it to the cabbage, but everyone at the table is like, no, you got Brussels sprouts fucked up. So I had a little piece, and I was like, okay, not bad. And then her sister gave me like a really big piece, and I had the whole thing. Yeah, I had Brussels sprouts fucked up. At least the ones.
You know why? You know why, Con?
Let's hear it.
I'm gonna give you an interesting fact that I learned earlier this year. The reason that everybody's fucked up about Brussels sprouts and they don't know how good they are is because back when we were kids, they were very bitter and gross. But farmers have actually bred them specifically to breed out all of the bitterness. So Brussels sprouts are completely different flavor wise right now than they were 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah,
they're completely different.
Like you said, as a kid, I remember just growing up and like it was almost like a cultural stereotype that Brussels sprouts were fucking terrible. But like now, so you be hearing mad people be like, "I love Brussels sprouts," like they're absolutely delicious. What we like to do is first off, don't ever buy frozen Brussels sprouts because they're just that frozen shit is dead, bro.
Yeah, they're just frozen shit is dead. Get fresh ones. I like to take them. I toss them in a little olive oil and salt and pepper, put them in the air fryer until they're brown and crispy, right? And then I take them out and I toss them in a combination of maple syrup, sriracha, and a little bit of crumbled bacon.
Ooh, interesting. Okay.
And they are delicious.
That sounds delicious. I don't remember how they prepared the ones that I had. I really don't.
Balsamic vinegar, garlic, and a little olive oil and air fryer.
There you go.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. I like the sounds of that.
Put
balsamic vinegar on any vegetable though, and I'll probably eat it if I'm being honest.
Now now I will say Sheila opened my eyes to I want to say no, not asparagus. I want to say like fresh green beans, not the ones in the can.
Yeah.
I hated, I had a lot of canned vegetables as a kid, so that's really where it comes from. And I remember she was like telling me like actual fresh green beans are the shit. And I was just like, I don't know about that. And I had them, and I was just like, just the difference between canned and like fresh. I was like, okay, I can't sit here and say that this is gonna be like my favorite snack. This ain't gonna be my go-to, but this is such a step up from what I grew up on.
So, living with Kat has really opened my eyes to the fact that like it's really how my parents made vegetables.
That's what being an adult is. It's finding out how you don't hate the food. You don't hate the food. You find out
like the way they made it,
how it was prepped for you when you didn't have a say.
Yeah, so I was not a big fan of broccoli, and now when Kat makes this broccoli, it's really good. Yeah.
Are you at the level where you could just eat that shit in a bowl? Because some people can do that.
No, I'm not quite there. She puts it with meals, like she just did it now with
like a side meals.
Yeah, it's a side for me still, but like. There's certain vegetables where I still like. I have not tried Brussels sprouts in the last 10 years or anything, so I haven't really. So I would say I don't like them, but I also haven't had them since all that stuff you were just talking about. I do not like warm carrots, like cooked carrots. Okay. I do like cold carrots, like with wings and ranch and shit.
I cook carrots, but like just like fresh out the fridge,
not my
go-to, but I'll eat it.
Here's the weird thing: like I love all vegetables. Other than cauliflower, but I don't like any raw vegetables. Cooked or I'm not eating them.
Okay.
I'm not mad at that. I mean,
I do not like celery.
Celery. I'll throw celery is like such a useless vegetable to me. It doesn't have a lot of uses.
It's just so fucking bitter too.
I'll just eat dental floss. I don't need
it is very stringy.
It's I'm not with that.
Only thing that I'm going to use. I don't care. Only thing that I'm going to use celery for is if I'm making homemade chicken noodle soup, or if I'm making a slow cooked pot roast. It's one of the vegetables that goes into slow.
Not to mention, bro, the smell, that celery smell bugs the shit out of me, bro. Like it just hits the nose weird.
Yeah. But that's really it. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of green beans.
Okay.
I do like peas. I do like corn. Kat hates peas though, so I don't eat peas that much.
I hate peas, bro.
But I love corn. The way she makes corn, the way she makes broccoli, is so good. I think that's really. I mean, I like cauliflower, but like cauliflower, like with like buffalo sauce, like the way they like they make like vegan wings or whatever it is.
When I was a little kid, when I was a kid,
It's fire.
cauliflower was my bag. Like I did enjoy it as a child, and then when I got older and started eating it, especially when I met Sheila, I started eating a lot healthier. She was putting me, they love using cauliflower for substitutes for a lot of shit, and we would just try that shit. Like I don't know, man. Like as a kid, it would hit, but as an adult, first of all, that texture is really odd, and then I'm like, what the fuck am I tasting when I eat it? Like I'm just not feeling it as a grown.
You ever walk down like a city street and you come to like where the sewer vents are, and you get that like that wastewater sewer smell? That is what cauliflower tastes like to me, is that smell. Yeah.
That, like deep gassy smell.
Yeah. Like
Hold
sulfur.
on.
Like that's the way that it tastes like sulfur to me.
I want to get Kat in here real quick. Kat, baby. Hope that she hears it. If not, I'll get up and get her.
Baby. Thank you so
Baby.
I ate the fish. I couldn't finish the rice.
She might have headphones on. Hold on.
I want to tell her she makes broccoli.
Okay.
That was nuts. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. We're doing a podcast right now.
What did we get,
In
Kat?
case you couldn't tell from the dead air.
Also, you didn't see Sheila made fresh lemonade too.
Ooh.
Oh, I need that, bro. I need that in my
yeah.
life.
She went dumb. She went dumb. She blacked out, as some would say.
She went got in her bag.
Put her foot in it.
Just put her foot in the cup and just stirred. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I hate that saying, by the way.
Put their foot in it.
Anytime someone says, I'm like, you put your foot in this? Okay, tell us how you make your broccoli.
I put it in the pan, and I use avocado oil and Italian seasoning.
That's it. It's fire.
Okay.
Your corn is
I
the
don't think I've ever used avocado oil.
dude. That's all we do use.
It's just better in high heat.
That's all we use is avocado oil.
Shouts out to Kat.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. Kat and Sheila are definitely like 1A and 1B in my cooking.
Master chef.
Yeah, bro.
Okay.
That's my shit, bro. Like, thank you.
Is that it?
It was very good. Yeah, it was. I just wanted to know how-
Yes.
We were talking about
No, wait. That's not it.
Oh, it's not it.
Okay.
Oh.
Give me your thoughts on the reunion, Kat. Come on. Let's go.
Oh,
We talked about it earlier, but let's hear it.
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't know. I wish they would have gone into Jimmy and Chelsea more.
Yeah, they kind of let them skate on by.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, they skipped past that. Sarah Ann was definitely giving 2016 prom.
Fuck Sarah Ann.
It's fun.
Fuck Sarah Ann.
Did Trevor break your heart like he did mine and Cons?
Yeah. Oh my
We were
god.
so shocked.
I was bamboozled.
Yeah, we were shocked, bro.
You're Schmeckelhorst.
Yeah. I've never
was
been
shocked.
I've never been that emotionally hurt by a man, I think.
I was disgusted by Trevor. I was disgusted by him.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, it was really funny. I don't think he was expecting the text to come up.
Yeah. I don't think anybody
So that was hilarious.
Nicholas Shea had the receipts, bro. That's
He really
that's
did.
He
nutty,
sure
bro.
did. He sure did.
Yeah, that's crazy.
All right, now she can leave if she wants. I just wanted to know what she thought.
Bye, love you.
Bye, I love you. Have fun.
We'll
Love
do.
you too. All right, so let's.
We share my
I
girlfriend.
always do that, and it always pops you guys.
No. Look, so when me and Nick play online, sometimes like we could hear each other, in the background and shit like that. So there might be times where like like Kat might say something to Nick. She might say like or Nick might say to Kat, he might be like, "Hey baby," I'll be like, "Yes." Or if I call Sheila, I'll be like, "Baby, can you do me a favor?" And Nick will be like, "Yeah, what's up?"
You did the other day, and I fucking was dying. I don't even know what it was. He was just like, I'm right here. Like, or something like that. I was like, where's my girl at? I was like, I'm right here. I'm like,
All right, so let's finish this up. Let's get into March MadDrip. We're going from the Elite Eight. I'm calling it that. I think that's what it's called.
And I remember what's
We're going to the Final
going on
Four.
this week, too. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna
Oh
be
yeah, yeah. This ain't gonna be.
these are all tough.
This
These
ain't
are
gonna
all
be
tough.
a easy one.
No, these are all tough, bro.
Oh boy.
All right. This is where we're at. You guys probably can't see it. It's not
Go to the
Nick's
next one. I
fault.
tried to make it bigger.
It's not Nick's fault.
It's not. It's just so many people.
All right, so let's
The
get
next
into...
the next slide though is it should be bigger. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see what you did. Look at you.
Yeah.
Look at you. It's like this guy's done it before or something.
I'm not ready, yo. I'm not ready.
He's an expert. I don't know. Some just tells me he's an expert.
I can't wait for the next one.
Him?
I can't wait for the next bracket.
What are
Which
we
I don't
doing?
even know if y'all remember us talking about doing it, but I want to do it so bad.
What was it? I remember us talking about, but I can't remember what it was.
yeah,
what is it?
Worst wrestler.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Another
Listen, bro,
bracket.
I'm already pushing for Baron Corbin to be our bye. Listen, I'm just.
Oh, I'm down for that.
I'm pushing.
Yeah, he
for
gets
Baron
a bye.
Corbin to be the bye, bro.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah,
Sure can.
But I think that draft alone will be hilarious to like hear our fucking fuck this sports wrestling. Wait, dude, I can't fucking wait.
Con is left again.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm in.
That's fine.
All right, so let's take a look at
Brack. Let's brack. We got bracks on brack on brack.
Let's brack. I want that on a shirt. Let's brack.
Let's brack it up.
All right.
Y'all gotta go first, bro. I don't even want to be here.
I don't have a decision yet. I don't think any of us do. This one's not easy at all. None of them are going to be easy.
Hambo,
we got Damian Priest from Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
And then we got Montez Ford from Elimination Chamber last year, 2023.
Hambo, you gotta download the Jeopardy theme for like when we're taking a long time.
Yeah.
Download the what?
The Jeopardy
theme?
The
Jeopardy theme? Yeah. I thought about that before, actually.
Dude. I'm sitting there like, okay, I'm gonna just throw an answer out, and I really don't want to throw the wrong one out because I'm really upset. I don't like.
All right, I'm gonna go first. I'm gonna go first. Okay.
Uh-oh.
I know who you gonna pick.
I don't.
I'm gonna say Damian Priest.
Yeah.
And here's why. So hold on. Whoa. As cool as this gear is, right? Right?
Mm.
I'm going to say, for me, it's 90% that jacket.
Okay.
Whereas I look at Damian and I go, this whole thing's a drip to me.
I hear you. Okay.
So that's where I'm going. That is my
gotta
thing.
get detailed. Gotta get fucking detailed to break this down.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, man.
For me,
now it's on YouTube.
For me, I'm gonna pick Tez. And the reason why I'm picking Tez is
he got that in real quick, Nick.
The deciding factor for me is the fact that his wife made that.
True.
I do agree with Ham that it's most of the jack. I do agree with that. But I think that's such an edge that the person who made this fit that we are all gushing about, he's married to her. So she could just make another one of these if he decides hey, WrestleMania's coming up, should he find his way on the card, Bianca could whip another one of these joints up. So that's really what it is for me, is that, somebody so close to him, somebody that he's married to, somebody that he shares a home with, somebody that he shares a bed with is responsible for this fit. That's cool as shit to me.
I just realized I want the Street Profits to win that ladder match on WrestleMania. I didn't even think about it, but I really want it now.
Yo, that match is going to be crazy.
That's
it really is.
It's going to be a crazy match to see live, too.
Bro, I think
this is working out to be such a cool card, even though I'm still pissed about CM Punk. I'm very excited to see the matches this year. And for my first one being there live.
For that ladder match, bro, I'm seeing things about the Dudley showing up.
Yo, they just said that Bully Ray was taken off the TNA roster page, so
I don't know, bro. Listen, if that happens, bro,
hey, you see it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Listen.
My only issue with that, all right, I'm gonna say, last year, Devon had a stroke, right? He had to have some surgeries, right?
That's true.
Yeah. So last year he came back and had a match with Bully Ray at a Impact show. He did not look good. So to put him in a ladder match on the biggest show, I don't know about that.
My thing with that is that there's gonna be 6 people 6 teams in the fucking match. No,
Sure. Right.
So
Yeah.
like he doesn't need to do him personally does not need to do a whole lot.
Sure.
I think Bully will have to do a little bit. Like he'll have to do some crazy shit, I feel like. But I feel like he can carry that segment on his own.
I agree. I will say just a little bit. There might be an expectation from both Dudleys. If let's say, like hypothetically speaking, they do show up, there might be an expectation there, considering that they have a history with ladder matches or ladder-esque matches at WrestleMania. There might be an expectation there, but I do agree with you. He don't need to do a lot, but there might be some type of expectation there.
I mean, if he participates in a 3D, I'll be okay.
Yeah,
like,
you know what I
honestly.
mean? Like, yeah.
He sets up a ladder, he participates in a 3D, I'm good, bro. Thank you for coming.
Well, I mean, if it's Devon Dudley, he's got to set up a table, not a ladder.
Well, they're table. Sorry, table. Yes. So it's whatever little things you can do, just do them. That's all I need. I don't need you to do anything crazy.
That's true.
Damn, bro.
But stop stalling here, Nick.
Stop stalling.
Yeah, bro. Get to it.
None of that helped me make a decision either. Can you show Damien again?
Sure.
Because I might be in slight of agreement with you, Hambone, about it's really just the jacket. I mean, I like the pants too, but it's just that jacket really is the. He could wear that jacket over anything and make it really for Montez. I mean, but this whole thing is just fire. And it's really the walkout gear for me.
Yeah.
For Montez.
Well, I mean, again, same thing with Montez, though. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about the entrance jacket. He didn't wear that during the match, you know.
Because with Priest in here, like with that off, I mean, it's the pants that kind of stand out in that case. Where when Tez, it's kind of like the reverse effect, where it's just the jacket for him, but with Priest, it's kind of just the pants. But like, you know,
can you show me Tez again?
Sure.
Yeah, I think I'm going Damien.
I
think the we really got to go to detail. I think the full outfit is just better than what Montez has on, and I love the fact that Bianca made that shit. Bro.
Yeah,
I love that shit. But
that's definitely like a huge
advantage
for it, Con. Like you said, like it is very cool that like
it's the creativeness of it all. You know what I mean? Like I'm big on creativity, so just the fact that like, and I'm big on in-house too. Like I'm super big on in-house. So that's like, anytime I hear that, like your wife made it as opposed to like somebody who works for the company did it, like just the more in-house, the better for me. So like that always just trumps it every time for me. But like I'm not mad at Priest.
So Damien advances. You had a good run, Tez.
Tez flew in this competition, bro.
Tell Bianca to make some more gear for you, because
please.
That's a no-brainer for me.
So we got Dom at WrestleMania 39 last year.
Yeah.
And we got Seth at Crown Jewel.
I think it's also a no-brainer for me.
It's a no-brainer for me.
All right, so let's hear it, Con. I think I know where you're going.
Dominic.
Okay. Nick.
Also
Dom.
Dominic. Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to give it to Dom too. I don't know what's happening. How is it? How is it that fucking Dom Mysterio is getting this far?
Hey, what if he's the upset? You know what I mean? Like, what if he's the upset?
Well, he was in the top. Him and Ray were in.
Oh, he was in the finals last year.
They were in the final last year too. So
I know.
Is Dom a drip god?
He might
be.
Is Dom a drip god?
Hold on, bro. Is Dom a drip god?
He might be. He might low key be a drip god.
He just beat out our drip god.
Yep. Yeah.
Unanimously, by the way.
Yeah. I don't know. I just can't believe. Like it's not even that I can't believe it. I just, as much as I liked this look, I just did not think that it was going to get this far. Looking at everything else we had on that bracket, like I just can't believe that Dom's in the final four.
Good for him. The way the bracket worked out, man. The way the bracket worked out. I also would like to say that I'm really proud of us for not picking any of our buys, because Dave was our buy on the comedian bracket and he won. So like we didn't really even need to have the bracket because we already had picked the winner. But for this, MJF went out last week. Dom beat out both our buys.
He beat out both our buys. I was just going to say that.
Which I just thought of. Dom beat out MJF and Dom beat out Seth Rollins just now. That's fucking nuts.
Wild.
Love this shit. This is why I fucking love brackets, bro.
We got some
Brax on Brax.
we got some Judgment Day matchups
coming
next
up.
time.
Yes, sir.
Speaking of,
Oh boy.
I would like to go first.
okay, let's take a better look here. House of Black at All In. Rhea at Payback with a China tribute.
Nick, you go. I know who I want, but you go.
I'm picking House of Black. I really like what Rhea's got going on. I mean, she looks good in just about everything, and this is a little more of that. And I'm cool with the China tribute and everything, but House of Black doesn't do this shit very often. And I mean, literally, House of Black is wearing white. I mean, that's the thing there. So, I mean, with the white and gold, we always talk about it. White gears just does something, and them holding the titles as well, and yeah, and Rhea's more just kind of just it's good. It looks really good, but it's just normal Rhea Ripley attire. It's something she wears kind of. I mean, she wears stuff like that all the time, where House of Black doesn't really. And I personally just think I think Julia actually looks. If we're gonna just compare the girls, I think I like Julia's fit better than Rhea's here.
Con.
Yeah, I was gonna rock with Rhea, but I guess the real deciding factor is like she got that shit on. She's absolutely gorgeous, but it really is like, and it's a fire China tribute, bro. Like she really knocked it out of the park. But it is just a rendition of what she already wears all the time. Mm-hmm. It's no different. She keeps it black. That's her bag.
We should all try to do that.
And she's owned it. You know what I mean? She really has owned it. But I just get past it. But yeah, I gotta roll with House of Black. Can you go back to the House of Black picture? Is that Brody on the far right?
I think Brody's on the right. Yeah, it is Brody.
Oh yeah, if you're looking at it, yes.
Okay, so everyone really likes Julia's fit. She did kill it. I personally really like Brody's fit. I like his mask a lot. Mm-hmm. Him being his build and being a big guy also helps with that too. But yeah, it pains me to not pick Rhea. But if we're just going based off of the fact that this is still something that she normally wears, yeah, I'm gonna rock with House of Black because they don't like Nick said, they don't do this.
Yeah, I think this will be.
They're calling House of Black. You know what I mean? They don't do this.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No, I think this has to be a unanimous one. I do agree that Rhea looks great, but I mean, when does she not look great? But yes, it is very much just kind of a play on stuff that she wears all the time.
She always wears that shit.
Yeah. And like I said, I with this one, I look at Julia and I go, if I didn't know she was a wrestler, she looks like a fucking pop superstar or something like that. She looks like she's somebody.
Yeah, she leads the bands or something. Yeah.
House of Black advances.
So do.
Io and Tiff. I'll go first on this one because I had my immediate reaction, and it's Io.
Oh.
As cool as Tiff's is, I like Tiffany's and all that, but I can't get over.
Tiffy time might be over, bro.
I think it might be because I can't look at Io's and not go, that's just a fire fit. Period. If I walk by her on the street, I'm gonna say, that's fucking cool right there.
It's hard, bro. And do you still have that picture of her without the jacket on?
Yeah.
Yeah, even with the jacket on, it's still hard. It's still hard. So yeah, I'm rocking with Io as well.
Damn, I think I was going to say Tiffany. I'm not gonna lie, but I agree with what you guys are saying about it, though. I think she definitely looks like same way you said about Julia. I think she looks like some sort of pop star. Yeah, she looks like some sort of artist or musician or something, and she's about to go on stage and kill her set. That's what she looks like. So. But Tiffany, I mean, it is just basically wrestling gear. I mean, it's not, she just looks good in it. I mean, that's really, that's probably what it is. I mean, essentially, because I mean, she doesn't have like a crazy jacket or anything. She came out just like that, you know. But I mean,
think it's hard when it's something like EO's look. It's hard to like vote against them if it's something where you can look at and go, damn, that doesn't just look like wrestling gear. You know, when it's something that kind of transcends wrestling and you go, oh shit, I would wear that outside of wrestling.
Right.
Or, oh shit, they look like a huge star whether they were wrestling or not. It's real hard to vote against it. And I feel like that's what's going on here too.
Exactly. Goddamn.
EO advances. So read them off, Nick. Next week, final 4-2, and I think we'll just finish it up next week.
Yeah,
too,
we'll
right?
finish it all out next week. So we got Damian Priest versus Dominic Mysterio. Little Judgment Day beef there. And then we got House of Black versus Io Sky. That's going to be interesting. Damian and Dom's going to be really hard. We're going to be sitting here for a minute talking about that one.
Yeah. I feel like we need to spend the next week specifically thinking about our choice for that one, or else we're just going to be sitting here for 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah. No, we really got to look at the slide. I'll send you guys the slides as soon as I like fix them and just be like, okay, think about it now.
Start thinking about this shit now.
Please, have your answer when we get to it, because we're not going to have all that time. Yeah, I'm
just going to throw this up here to close it. I had a pretty cool weekend.
Did
you?
Got to meet Victoria, who is one of my all-time favorite women. I've now met 4 of my 5 all-time favorite women.
A legend.
I'm also a huge TMNT fan. I got to meet the April O'Neil, Judith Hogue. She was lovely. She was pretty much exactly what you want if you get to meet a celebrity that you look up to. And then today I drove 3 hours to meet the Lucha Bros. So it's a cool little weekend of meet and greets.
You know what sucks, dude? I found out Sting was in Richmond this weekend.
Oh, really?
So upset. So upset. I did not know that was happening. I didn't know it was coming up. I didn't know anything. So
it was what was it for? Like,
it was a convention. I think it was like
Galaxy Con.
Yeah, so we have a friend, Alex, who went there, and she texted me. She was like telling me all the wrestlers who were there. So she was like, she's like, yeah, it's this event that I'm not too familiar with, but these wrestlers are gonna be there. Which I was telling Sheila, it needs to be another conversation because Alex and Joe don't watch wrestling, but as of late, like they both have been texting me and or Nick, showing us like, hey, look. It's a wrestler. And so it's just like, I'm ready to sit them down and be like, look, okay, y'all know who these motherfuckers are without us having to tell you. Just fucking watch it.
You guys are fans. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys, I feel like you guys are getting or warming up. But yeah, she texted me and was like, yeah, it was like Matt Hardy. I can't remember all the names, but it was like Matt Hardy, Sting, Sammy Guevara, like a couple others. And I'm like, okay, get pictures with all these guys. And she was like, well, it's $50 a pop. So I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, I always forget Galaxy Con's coming around. So I just had to think about it, and then I didn't realize. Oh, I think we lost Hambone.
Oh wow,
that's not good.
Well, shit.
Well, are we done?
We got like 8 minutes.
Oh, shit. Okay. Well, you plan on getting on Fortnite?
Yeah, I'm gonna get on. I'm gonna shower first.
Okay. Well, maybe we should stream it, and then people can just come join on your stream, and we can hang out more. That'd be nice. We haven't done that in a minute. I'm trying to get WWE, bro. I'm trying to get the game.
Oh, bro, don't worry about it.
Money is nuts, bro.
Don't worry about that shit. I was hating on it at first, but the more I'm playing it, the more I'm fucking with it.
You were hating on it? Why?
I was getting used to like some of the changes on there, and I thought I wasn't gonna fuck with it. But now that because I played it all night. Let me see, like in between Fallout and WWE, I've been on those 2 games all weekend. So like. Yeah, like it's a great fucking game. It just took me a minute to just adjust to the changes based on the last game, but yeah, no, I'm fucking with it big time.
Speaking of Fallout, you gonna watch that Fallout series that's coming out?
I just watched the trailer. That's why I'm playing Fallout right now, just to have it fresh in my mind. Like,
does it look good?
Watch the trailer, bro.
Yeah.
Watch the trailer. That shit looks well. Me as a Fallout fan, I marked the fuck out. Like that shit looks fucking nuts. But yeah.
Cool shit. Yeah, I saw the
Alright.
trailer and I was like, damn, I didn't even know they were making this.
Yeah,
Did you hear about the
bro,
Among Us? I sent you the Among Us series too.
Mhm.
I thought that was a joke, but then
When
it
I
was
saw
full
Randall
Among Us
Park, I was
series.
like, oh yeah, this is gonna be funny as shit. Randall Park is
Yeah,
funny
bro.
as shit, man. He's funny as
And
shit.
that's not even like the full cast yet. They're supposed to announce a bunch more later.
Oh, okay.
Because there's a bunch of other colors. They just announced like red, blue, and green or whatever.
I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna just make a little prediction that Aubrey Plaza will probably be somebody announced in there.
Oh, that would be sick.
Aubrey
yeah.
Plaza and Among
That'd
Us.
be
Yeah.
sick.
There you go.
Hey,
Hey,
hi. I just
Hello.
had a technical problem.
Love that.
That was weird. My whole house, the power just went out
The
for
whole
like
house
5
went out?
seconds, came
Oh,
right
no.
back on, but then my internet wouldn't come back on immediately. So
Jesus.
that was cool.
Fuck.
Yeah. So what were you guys talking about?
Among Us.
And
Oh, okay.
Talking about shows
Yo.
coming up. Oh, I'm about to check out. They got that documentary series about to drop. The dark side of kids TV. Definitely.
Oh,
that
yeah, I
dropped
watched
tonight.
that too.
I'm watching that.
I gotta watch
So before I went out there, Nick, what I was going to say was, if one of my as somebody who goes to a bunch of meet and greets, one of my pieces of advice to people who want to meet people is make sure that you follow any Comic-Cons that are in
that. Mhm.
in whatever amount of time that you will travel. Follow
Yeah.
them on Facebook
Yeah.
because wrestlers go to these things all the time and they're always going to announce them. That's how I find half of mine. Right
Yeah.
now, I'm considering whether or not I want to drive down to Pittsburgh the week after WrestleMania for Steel City Comic Con because Christian Cage is going to be there. I don't know if I want to do it. That's 6 hours back, 6 hours there, 6 hours back by myself. Did it for Sean. Don't know if I want to do it for Christian, but
I know you got really personal earlier. I don't think you want to go meet Christian.
Oh wow!
you know what? You got a point there.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it.
You
Sorry.
got a point there.
The joke was there. I had to make it.
No, I don't care. I have no shame. Nothing like that shit offends me. That's funny. That's funny right there.
That's crazy.
And on that, see you next week, you fucking marks. Keep it kinky.